I tried to flirt, but the villain thinks I'm an assassin. Chapter 1. The Damsel Drop. I'm Leo Barnes, a perfectly normal guy. 6 feet tall, moderately built, and currently sweating bullets in a chair that probably costs more than my apartment. Why? Because I'm in the lair of Damien Vane, the main villain of the dark crime thriller novel I somehow transmigrated into. He's the type of guy who wears a suit that screams, "I will ruin your life," and look impeccable doing it. And I'm supposed to be a disposable henchman named Leo, who gets executed in Chapter 3. Oh, but not anymore, my brain helpfully reminded me, complete with a terrifying robotic ping. System, are you high? I hissed, barely moving my lips. Negative. Commencing first mandatory mission. Wait, the female protagonist? The sweet, innocent one? I'm a dude. Error 404. Gender parameter. Proceed with mission 1. Mission: the fated fall. Trip gracefully into the target's arms. Gaze into his eyes. Reward: +10 charisma. Punishment for failure: electric shock, minor voltage. Electric shock. Great. Just great. I wanted to die. I stare at the terrifyingly handsome man across the desk, Damien Vane. He's reviewing some documents, probably the blueprints for world domination, and ignoring me. He's the known for sniffing out a traitor with nothing but a stray comma and having them blacklisted by lunch. And this AI voice in my head wants me to play oopsie daisy with him? Mr. Barnes, Damien's voice is deep and gravelly, like a luxury sports car engine. You seem agitated. Did you wish to say something? Say something? Yeah, like I'm a perfectly normal guy stuck in a cheesy romance plot and my life depends on you catching me. Coming, I squeaked, my voice sounding like a distressed chipmunk. I have to do this. I've seen the system's minor voltage. It's not minor. Okay, Leo, just trip. Small trip. Cute trip. Harry Thompson, the MC of the novel that gave me this style, would know how to pull this off. I, Leo, do not. I take a step forward. My foot catches on the plush Persian rug. Perfect. But instead of a gentle flutter, my limbs decide to launch me across the room like a ballistic missile. What? Damien starts to rise, probably to order a cleanup.
Come here.
Yes, sir.
Funk. My forehead connects squarely with his solar plexus with the sickening force of a battering ram. The air leaves his lungs in a dying, wheezing whoosh. We both go down. A tangle of limbs and expensive suit fabric. His obsidian fountain pen clatters to the marble floor. Mission failed. Target sustains blunt force trauma. Charisma -5. I peel myself off the floor, dizzy, and certain I've been fired, blacklisted, and buried by the end of the day. Damien is doubled over, clutching his stomach, struggling to breathe. I killed him. I actually headbutted the final boss of the novel. I'm going to be tortured. Who sent you? He gasps, his face turning an alarming shade of pale. He's staring at me, not with rage, but with a wide-eyed intensity. Is that respect?
Who sent you? No one. It's an accident.
I panic, reverting to the only script I have, the romance script. I just wanted to be close to you, I whispered, terrified. I fell for you. Damien stiffened. His gaze sharpened from pain to ruthless calculation. He straightens up slowly, brushing the dust off his perfectly tailored suit. A physical attack, disguised as a confession, he murmurs, his eyes cold and assessing. You struck a pressure point with speed and precision, Mr. Barnes. Who taught you that technique? Technique? I just trip when I'm nervous. I want to scream, but I just sweat bullets. Damien leans down, his breath warm on my ears, smelling faintly of cedar and cold, hard cash. You're a weapon. A beautiful, reckless weapon. I like it. Very bold. He grabs my hand and hauls me to my feet. His grip is firm. Too firm. "I'm impressed," he says, a ghost of a smirk appearing. "No one has dared to strike me like that before." I'm sorry I hurt you," I stammered, wishing the floor would swallow me. "Hurt me?" Damien runs a thumb over my knuckles. "You have merely proven your value. You are intriguing, Leo Barnes. Let's see what else you have planned." He was looking forward to the next attack. Oh God, he thinks I'm a clumsy assassin trying to kill him. This is worse than the electric shock. New mission received. The loving lunch. Preparation time, 12 hours. Bento box. I'm supposed to make him a heart-shaped bento box. This is going to end my life. I need to go home now, sir. I have very important preparations to make. Damien eyes me, a strange possessive glint in his gaze. Of course. Prepare well, Leo. I'm eager for your next move. I bolted before he could change his mind. 1 day down, 29 to go. If I don't blow this, it will be a miracle. Chapter 2. I was staring into the microwave, watching a heart-shaped rice ball attempt to achieve the fifth state of matter. Mission: the loving lunch. Create a heart-shaped bento box for the target to show your devotion. Reward: +10 affection points. Punishment for failure: sensory overload, loud pop music. A bento box? This system was clearly trying to kill me, not Damien. I'm a defrost and eat kind of guy. My idea of cooking is successfully boiling water without setting off the smoke alarm. But I couldn't risk the pop music punishment. Last time, it was a 10-hour loop of K-pop techno remixes, and I nearly punched a hole through my wall just to make it stop. My attempt at rice was not rice. It was a lump of black crystalline charcoal. The egg omelet was still liquid in the middle, and I had successfully deep-fried the top sticks. I killed him yesterday with my head. I'm gonna kill him today with salmonella. I packed the horrific creation into a pink plastic lunchbox, the only appropriate container I could find. It looked like a kindergarten craft project that went through a house fire. Damien Vane, the Untouchable CEO, was working late in his private study at the mansion. Getting in was a nightmare, requiring me to flash a suspicious-looking employee badge and nearly faint when the guard addressed me by name. I finally reached the study. The door was heavy mahogany, and I could hear the faint tap-tap-tap of a keyboard, the sound of someone efficiently crushing a rival corporation. I knocked twice, tentatively. Enter. Damien's voice was clipped, cold. I pushed the door open, trying to channel blushing bride bringing treats energy. I failed. I probably looked like a nervous burglar carrying evidence. Damien was seated behind his desk. He looked perfect, of course, wearing a vest and rolling up his sleeves, revealing forearms that could crush a coconut. He didn't look up. You told the staff not to disturb me, Barnes. I'm not the staff, I squeaked. I brought you lunch, dinner, whatever. He paused. His hand stopped moving. Slowly, Damien Vane raised his head, his eyes sharp as a tack, fixed on the pink box, then on my face. What is that? He asked, his voice flat. It's a bento box. I made it myself, with love, I said, forcing a smile that felt like rigor mortis. He stared at the black, oily mess. The smell, a blend of burnt plastic and something vaguely sulfurous, began to waft through the air. Damien, internal. A test? It's always a test. The food is scorched and vile, a rudimentary poison delivery system or a psychological tactic to gauge my dedication.
He wants to see if I am bold enough to eat a meal from the hands of an enemy. He set down his pen. The silence stretched, nerve-wracking and thick. "You cooked this for me?" he asked. "Yes, all night," I lied. It took 45 minutes of panic and fire suppression. He slowly picked up a pair of chopsticks and poked at the black rice ball. It didn't dent. It clinked. Damien, internal. Hardened rice, a razor hidden inside. No, too obvious. It's a slow-acting toxin. He's committing to the long game. He looked up at me, his face utterly unreadable. "A bold choice, Leo," he said, his voice low. He put the charcoal lump into his mouth. He chewed once, twice. His jaw muscles clenched and a bead of sweat tracked down his temple. "Well?" I asked, bouncing slightly on my toes, sweating from the anxiety. "Do you like it?" Damien swallowed with visible effort. It sounded like grinding pebbles. "It is memorable," he managed, his voice strained. "The flavor profile is unique." I grinned, relief washing over me. I knew it! That was the love element. Mission complete. The loving lunch, plus 10 affection points. Warning, target integrity at 60%. "I need to go," Damien suddenly gasped, pushing his chair back. His face was green. "My internal mechanisms require adjustment." "Adjustment? That's okay. I'm glad you ate it," I cheered. I nailed the romance. He practically stumbled out of the study, hand pressed tightly to his stomach. I saw him talking urgently into his phone. "Get the car and have Dr. Chen on standby. It's a high-grade chemical contaminant." 10 minutes later, I heard sirens and speeding tires. He rushed to call me. "He's taking me home. He's being all concerned." Oh my God, this man is actually sweet. I picked up the black pen he dropped. He left his pen. I should take it. I hurried out of the mansion, feeling a dizzying mix of panic and romantic success. The next morning, the news channels were buzzing. CEO Damien Vane hospitalized after mysterious foo incident. I killed him. I actually killed the main character with rice. New mission, the sponge bath. Visit the target in the hospital, give him a sensual sponge bath. No system, I'm not going to waterboard him next. I needed to see him, to explain that it was supposed to be affection, not attempted murder. I pulled out my phone and called his main number, trembling. A stern voice answered. "Mr. Vane is under close observation. Visitors are prohibited." "Please tell him his wife is here to take care of him," I whispered, using a trick from the source material. A moment of silence. Then, "The CEO says to send in the beautiful, reckless weapon. And to bring a fresh towel. He thinks I'm the sexy weapon. Great, just great. Now I'm the sexy nurse."
Chapter 3. The Weapon's Nursing Tactic. I stood outside Damien Vane's hospital room. The entire floor was apparently privatized for him, and adjusted the collar of my shirt. It was a perfectly normal shirt, but in this setting, it felt like an apron over a bomb. The heavy steel door hissed open. I was in. Damien was in a stark white bed, looking much too handsome to be actively fighting for his life against my burnt rice. A heart monitor beep serenely in the background. He looked pale, but still terrifying. "Leo," he greeted, his voice weak but his eyes immediately sharpening, as if expecting me to pull a shiv out of my back pocket. "Come in. I knew you couldn't stay away." No, I couldn't. I was afraid of the pop music punishment. Mission: the sponge bath. Wipe his fevered brow gently. Let your fingers linger. Reward: plus 15 affection. Failure: electric shock, medium voltage. I came to take care of you, I stammered, picking up a bowl of cool water and a pristine white flannel from his side table. Care, Damien repeated, watching my hands. A fascinating choice of weapon, Leo. The bento was almost successful. I spent a very uncomfortable night. Leo, internal. I caused that. I almost caused his death. And he thinks it was a weapon that almost succeeded? Oh my god, he's going to fall for me because I tried to kill him. I approached the bed, towel dripping slightly. I just want to cool you down, I said, trying to sound soft and wifely. Okay, Harry, think. Gentle touch, seductive gaze. I held the wet towel above his head. My hands were shaking. I was not built for sensual nursing. I was built for desk jobs and microwave dinners. I attempted to lower the towel gracefully onto his forehead, but the combination of my tremor and the sheer terror of staring at Damien Vane's face at close range caused my coordination to completely desert me. Instead of a gentle press, the towel slipped, unfolded, and landed directly over his entire face. It was essentially a 5-second ice-cold waterboarding. Damien immediately thrashed, arms flying up. His oxygen mask went skittering across the floor. He managed to rip the soaking cloth off his face, gasping for air. A direct respiratory attack, he roared, coughing violently. I'm sorry, it slipped. It was supposed to be romantic. He stared at me, water droplets clinging to his eyelashes. He was absolutely soaked. Damien internal. No civilian would panic like that after such a precise move. He aims to disorient me, then strike. He grabbed my wrist as I reached for the bowl of water, probably to refill the towel. Stop, he commanded, his voice low and dangerous. You missed the carotid artery, but the psychological effect of drowning a recovering patient is noted. You are highly trained. He still hadn't let go of my wrist. I yanked it, desperately trying to get some distance. The force of my pull made me lose my balance entirely. I pitched forward, and my elbow slammed into his exposed ribs. He made a sharp, wounded sound, like a large, dying cat. Mission failed. Target sustains multiple non-lethal injuries. Affection points -10. I'm so fired. I'm getting executed right now. I broke his ribs. I scrambled backward, ready to beg for my life. I'm a clumsy idiot. I'm not an assassin. I just wanted to be sweet. He stared up at the ceiling, breathing heavily through his nose. His eyes were wide, with a mix of pain and pure, predacious fascination. Clumsy, he spoke, a smirk slowly returning to his pale lips. You call that clumsy? He reached out and grabbed the front of my shirt, pulling me down until my ear was near his mouth. You're sadistic, Leo Barnes. The food, the drowning, the hit to the ribs. You enjoy watching me suffer. He winked. I like it. Very much. Most people are terrified of my pain. You actively cause it. No, I don't. I protested weakly, my face burning. Now, he said, tightening his grip on my shirt, since you are here to take care of me, let me tell you what I require. His eyes turned heavy, puppy dog eyes. Damien internal. I must keep this dangerous creature close. He is too valuable to let go. You can't leave until you've kissed me, he stated, like it was an order. A proper kiss, no headbutts. Oh my god, he's going to make out with me after I tried to drown him. This is the craziest BL novel ever. I leaned down, heart pounding, ready for the most terrifying kiss of my life. New mission received. Assertive romance. Prepare for kabedon crisis. Wait, kabedon? Just as my lips were centimeters from his, the steel door slammed open,
and a frantic doctor rushed in, trailing wires and security guards. "Mr. Vane, we detected a massive spike in your heart rate. Are you all right?" Damien sighed, fixing the hapless man with a death glare. "I was perfectly fine, doctor," Damien said, "but I believe Leo here has damaged my rib cage again. Get him an X-ray." He nodded to me. "Don't go far, wife," he murmured. "We have unfinished business."
Chapter 4. I was back in the mansion, having been unceremoniously evicted from the hospital and told I was a danger to the patient's recovery. Damien, thankfully, was discharged, but he now watched me like a hawk, a terrifying, injured hawk. The situation was tense. Damien had summoned me to the main hall where he was pacing, looking aggravated. He was questioning my loyalty again, convinced I was a double agent for a rival syndicate. "Leo, answer me truthfully," Damien demanded, stopping just a foot away from me. His voice was cold enough to frost the windows. "Did Victor Dubois send you? Is the Black Rice a reference to the Black Widow plot of 2018? Black Widow? I just can't cook," I wanted to scream. "Mission, assertive romance. Kabedon him, pin him to the wall and whisper, 'You're the only one for me.' Reward, plus 20 affection points. Failure, extreme tickling. Self-inflicted. Extreme tickling. My greatest fear. I'm ridiculously ticklish. I had to assert dominance and romance simultaneously. Okay, Harry, think. Kabedon. Quick, powerful, sexy. Damien is aggressive, so I have to be bolder. Damien, I said, trying to lower my voice. It came out as a strangled croak. He narrowed his eyes, waiting. He probably thought I was about to drop a coded threat. I made my move. I strode forward, aiming for the perfect, dominating wall slam. I had 3 major obstacles. 1. My ingrained fear of Damien Vane. 2. My lack of upper body coordination. And 3. The fact that I forgot the wall was about 4 inches further back than I thought. I lunged. I brought my arm up sharply, ready to pin him against the door frame. Scene 1, the fail. Instead of my hand landing on the plaster with a resounding thwack, I misjudged the distance by a solid 6 inches. My momentum carried me right past Damien's head. I missed the wall. I missed the door frame. I spun out, entirely losing control of my center of gravity. My clenched fist, the one meant for romance, flew outward, striking the thin, decorative panel of the antique mahogany door frame right next to Damien's ear. Crunch. My hand disappeared into the wood. A chunk of finely carved mahogany exploded inward, leaving a ragged, fist-sized hole and a shower of splinters. I am not a normal guy. I just punched a hole in an antique door. I'm the Hulk. I'm gonna pay for this door with my soul. I yanked my hand back, shaking it. It hurt like hell. Damien didn't flinch. He just slowly turned his head, staring at the splintered wood, then back at my face. His eyes were wide with a new, terrifying level of respect. "Incredible," he whispered, a genuine look of awe replacing his suspicion. "Oops," I managed, clutching my throbbing hand. Damien internal. Raw physical strength. He destroyed the frame to prove he could just as easily destroy my skull. This is a level of intimidation I have never encountered. He's telling me he doesn't need a knife. His bare hands are lethal. I reached out and gently took my injured hand. "That's going to bruise," he said, not with concern, but with the pride of a man inspecting a priceless, highly dangerous artifact. "Who knew you were holding back such firepower?" I saw my opportunity. The system might still accept this. I had pinned him, sort of, and created a powerful, unforgettable moment. Definitely. I leaned in, trying to make my voice husky and low like a romantic hero. "You're the only one for me," I whispered, staring intensely into his eyes, praying this was enough to avoid the tickling.
Damien's breath hitched. His fingers tightened possessively around my wrist. "Say that again," he ordered, his voice suddenly thick. "You're the only one for me," I repeated, sweat dripping down my back. Damien internal. A declaration of ownership, backed by a demonstration of lethal force. If I don't keep this man tethered to me, my enemies will hire him. He's claiming me. He didn't kiss me. He did something much more dangerous. He gripped my chin, forcing me to look at the hole in the doorframe. "I will have that piece of wall framed," he announced, deadly serious. He then howled me into his arms, squeezing me tightly enough to crack my own ribs. "You're reckless and completely unhinged, and you are mine. I've never seen a stronger declaration." I groaned into his suit jacket. Mission complete, assertive romance, plus 20 affection points. Warning, target is now pathologically obsessed. Oh great, now I'm the lethal wife with a framed piece of smashed mahogany. I want to go home. Suddenly, an alarm blared through the mansion. Red lights flashed. "What is that?" I gasped, pulling away. Damien's expression instantly switched from possessive monster to ruthless CEO. "That's a breach of the south perimeter. It appears our rivals are finally making a move." He looked at me with a gleam of excitement in his eyes. "Stay close, Leo. Your kind of chaos is exactly what I need right now." My kind of chaos? I just punch holes in doors. New mission, defend his honor. Location, the gala.
Chapter 5. The breach at the mansion was a quick, chaotic firefight that Damien handled with terrifying competence. Now, he needed to make a public appearance to show his rivals and the market that he wasn't incapacitated by my poison rice. So, here we were, the annual Underworld Charity Gala. Think tuxedos, champagne, and enough high-grade weaponry under the tables to start a small war. I was glued to Damien's side. He looked devastatingly handsome, and I looked like an anxious deer in headlights. He kept whispering things like, "Remember your training weapon," which was utterly confusing because my only training was avoiding the electric shock. Mission: defend his honor. Throw a drink in the rude person's face and declare your love. Reward: plus 25 affection. Failure: embarrassing sing-along. Spontaneous musical number. Embarrassing sing-along. Right here, right now, in front of rival mob bosses. I had to fulfill the mission. We were cornered by Boss Marcello, a man who looked like he ate concrete for breakfast. He was clearly trying to provoke Damien. "Vane," Marcello sneered, puffing on a cigar. "You look pale. Heard you had a little tummy trouble. Didn't realize the great Damien Vane was susceptible to food poisoning." Damien's grip tightened on my elbow. "My health is not your concern, Marcello." "Oh, but it is," Marcello chuckled, looking at me. "Your little consort here looks nervous. Perhaps he's the one who slipped you a slow-acting poison. I hear he's very bold." That was it. My cue. Marcello was the rude person. "Okay, Harry, do your thing. Grab the champagne, throw it, declare your love." It's cheesy, but it's the system's rule. I quickly snatched a flute of sparkling red wine from a passing waiter's tray. I wheeled around, ready to douse Marcello an expensive vintage. My mind was screaming, "This is for Damien! This is romance!" I aimed for Marcello, but my hand, conditioned by the glitchy system and chronic anxiety, went into a catastrophic spasm. It wasn't a throw. It was a flail. Instead of hitting Marcello, the glass of red wine flew wildly over my shoulder, directly behind me, and hit a second, unsuspecting waiter. The waiter, startled and drenched in wine, lost his grip on the large silver tray he was carrying. The tray, loaded with every sharp dessert utensil imaginable, catapulted into the air. Clang, crash! Knives, forks, and spoons rained down onto the black marble floor. The sudden, intense noise and glittering chaos caused a momentary panic. Everyone ducked. Bodyguards instantly shielded their bosses. But in that brief, seconds-long distraction,
Damien's eyes, already scanning the room, flicked upward to the third-floor balcony. His eyes widened. He shoved me violently behind his back. "Sniper! Down!" he roared. A heartbeat later, the sound of a muffled shot echoed in the ballroom. The bullet shattered a vase where Damien's head had been a moment before. Damien dragged me behind a pillar, his gun already out. Mission failed. Drink was not thrown at the target. However, chaos led to the preservation of target integrity. Affection points, plus 25, accidental bonus. I was pressed against the pillar, heart racing. What just happened? Damien looked at me, his eyes gleaming with a manic pride I hadn't seen before. He didn't look pale. He looked exhilarated. "You," he breathed, a genuine smile splitting his face. "You created the perfect diversion. The wine, the crash, the chaos. It was all calculated to draw the sniper's focus just long enough for me to spot the flash." "I just wanted some fruit wine," I protested weakly. "Nonsense," he scoffed, pulling me tighter. "You gave me the precious seconds I needed. You are brilliant. You are insane. You are the most effective bodyguard I have ever encountered." He looked back at the carnage, the screaming guests, the upturned tables, the shocked face of Boss Marcello. "Marcello is finished," he announced, nodding towards the rival who looked paralyzed with shock. "They sent an assassin who nearly killed me with food, injured me in the hospital, smashed my wall as a threat, and now covers my exit with a strategic cutlery attack. He thinks I'm a high-level chaos agent. I swear I'm just trying to make a romantic gesture." Damien kissed my temple, a surprisingly tender gesture in the middle of a gunfight. "This is how you protect your man, Leo. I misjudged you. You're not just a beautiful, reckless weapon. You're my beautiful, reckless weapon." Then he grabbed my hand. "Let's go. I need to take you somewhere safe." "Safe?" I repeated, dizzy. "Yes, to my private retreat, where we can finally discuss your true intentions." He pulled me towards a hidden exit. Oh God, the final confrontation. I'm going to have to tell him I'm just a guy following a broken romance script.
Chapter 6. We were in the private retreat. The room was dark, silent, and felt like the final stage of a boss fight. Damien stood by the cold fireplace, his shadow huge and intimidating in the moonlight. "We are safe here, Leo. The alarms are set. Now we talk." His voice was low and devoid of the playful menace he usually used. It was pure, terrifying business. "I need the truth. Every piece of intelligence you possess. Which agency sent you? Are you Mossad? The Syndicate? I will not be played for a fool." I felt my spine turn to jelly. My time was up. I had to confess, but the truth sounded like the ravings of a lunatic. Mission. Final confrontation. Confess your feelings honestly. Declare your unwavering devotion. The system's robotic ping was a tiny, useless sound in the vast silence of the room. I had to do this. I had to risk the truth. "Damien, I can't." I choked out, wrapping my arms around myself. "I can't lie to you anymore. I'm not who you think I am. I'm not a weapon." His eyes narrowed. "Don't play games, Leo. The headbutt, the poison, the chaos at the gala. It was all too precise to be coincidence." It was coincidence, every single part of it. My voice broke. The guilt had been shoving down, the fear of him, the knowledge that I was deceiving a man who, in his own terrifying way, had been kind to me, finally overwhelmed me. Tears welled up. "I didn't want to hurt you," I whispered, the confession feeling heavy and real. "I never did. I had to do it. It was for a mission, but not the one you think. I was trying to be good to you. I was trying to be your loving partner." I was hysterical now, pacing the floor. I swear, the bento was supposed to be a cute romantic gesture. I made those heart-shaped things with sincerity, but I just suck at it. I suck at cooking, I suck at flirting, I suck at taking care of people. I'm just a normal, clumsy guy who can't do any of this romance stuff right.
I collapsed on the sofa, covering my face, sobbing into my hands. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for the deception. I'm just terrible at being a loving partner. The room was silent again. The fire popped once. I waited for the fury. I waited for the execution order. Instead, Damien walked over, slowly, deliberately. He sat next to me, not touching me, but close enough that I could feel his heat. "Look at me, Leo," he commanded, his voice softer than I'd ever heard it. I reluctantly lowered my hands. His expression wasn't rage. It was a bizarre, conflicted tenderness. "I know you're terrible," he said, and I braced myself for the insult. "You nearly killed me 3 times. You broke my property. You look like you're about to faint every time I get close. Most people who work for me are polished, ruthless, and emotionless." He reached out and gently brushed the tears from my cheek. "But you are a mess. You are frantic, you are terrified, and you are trying so hard, even though you think you failed at everything." He looked into my eyes, and for the first time, I saw past the villain persona to something genuine and deeply complex. I was never drawn to Lily's perfect calmness. I was always drawn to chaos. When you headbutted me, I thought, this man is fearless. When you wept after the bento box incident, I thought, this man feels guilt. I was terrified. I protested weakly. "Exactly," he said, a ghost of a smile touching his lips. "You show me true emotion. You show me vulnerability. And yet you keep coming back, creating chaos, demanding my attention in the boldest ways possible." He gripped my chin, forcing me to meet his gaze. "I thought you were a spy, but now I see you are a chaotic force of nature who, despite all your failures, is fiercely and unhingedly protective of me. You're not terrible at it, Leo. You're just operating on a different, more effective level." "I love you," I whispered again, the words feeling true this time, born from genuine relief and a strange admiration for his insane acceptance. Mission complete. Final confrontation. Affection points maxed. Role, officially wife/husband. Damien's eyes darkened, filled with a raw, possessive heat that transcended the plot. "You are not terrible, Leo," he growled, pulling me into a fierce embrace. He sealed the moment with a deep, consuming kiss. It was aggressive, but laced with a surprising tenderness that acknowledged the emotional confession I just made. When he finally pulled back, he rested his forehead against mine. "I will never let you go. And don't worry about the missions. I'll help you train. We can work on your techniques together." Oh my God, he still thinks I was trained? He thinks my failures were just my technique. I'm going to spend my life pretending my system-induced stupidity is high-level psychological warfare. Great. Just great. He scooped me up, standing. But first, we celebrate. Celebrate what? He grinned that terrifying, handsome, now infatuated grin. "The end of your mission and the beginning of ours, my lethal wife." The end.